Hi everybody, this is Julia. Welcome to the Stitchergurl Podcast. Oh my goodness, it's been quite some time since my last confession. Father, please forgive me. Oh, the last time I talked to you folks was back in January. February, I don't know where the heck February went. It went fast. So many things going on in February. It is Saturday, February the 29th, 2020. What an auspicious day to make a podcast. So here I am. So first and foremost, I want to thank all my new subscribers. I'm not always sure where everybody's coming from, but thank you for subscribing. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your comments. I really enjoy the comments. I really love knowing where everybody is coming from, whether it's a Facebook site or if another podcaster's mentioned me. It's also cool to know where you live, where you're from, what part of the world. You don't have to tell me your address. You just have to say, I'm from near there, over there, near Germany. It's all good. It's all good. So thanks. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is definitely going to be the Hot Mess Express. This is going to be a fast and dirty podcast because I got stuff to do and you've got stuff to do. And I'm just so overdue with podcasting that I couldn't go another day. Every day I'd wake up and I'm like, Julia. So, oh, sweet Jesus, here I am. So remember, don't judge me. I work night shift. So, I did have some pass along, some giveaways last time, and I talked about it at the end of my podcast. So if you don't watch to the end, you miss out on that excitement. I can't help you with that, right? I know sometimes I do go on. I know some podcasts you start watching them and you're like, yay. And then you're like, oh my God, this is just going on and on and on. Anyways, so from time to time, I do have a giveaway, a pass along, and I did last time, and I'm just going to show you what they are. I actually had a cross stitch chart and I had a beautiful skein of yarn, and I'll insert a little video at the end of this podcast to announce the winners. So there you go. So this is what you missed out on. So this is a beautiful Jeanette Douglas chart. It's an older chart, but that was one. And the other one was this beautiful skein of yarn from Celtic Raven Fibers. Look at that. A little blue-faced Leicester. And that's it's a sock weight. Fingering weight sock weight. Squishy goodness. So that's the Celtic Raven Fiber logo. She's based, Cindy Hagen, she's based in Nova Scotia. So you snooze, you lose. What can I tell you? But I don't blame you if you don't stick around to the end sometimes. Woo! So I won't be doing another pass along giveaway till I reach another milestone. 500 subscribers? Do you think that's even possible for little old me in Moncton, New Brunswick? Well, I think it is very possible. Very, very possible indeed. And while I think of it, I have two announcements. Not one, but two. Follow. In April, my mother, Mother Mary and I are going to be going to a cross-stitch retreat that is put on Because You Count. Because You Count is my cross-stitch store in Moncton. And they have spring retreats and fall retreats. And Mom and I got into the spring retreat. So at the end of April, we are going on a retreat. So that's very, very exciting. Now, that is very, very exciting. But I have another exciting thing to tell you. At the end of September of this year, I will be flying to the West Coast to attend, are you ready? The retreat that's being put on by Acorns and Thread, Portland, Oregon. Yes, the famous L&S Acorns and Threads. Hi, Janine. The retreat they're having, it's a much bigger deal this year. They're having it in a hotel, and Beth Twist and Paulette Stewart, Plum Street Sampler, Heartstring Samplery, they are going to be the teachers. So I'm just totally tripping. The thought of me going and hanging out with those Pacific Northwest Stitchers, oh my Lord. Frissons. I have frissons. Woo! I'm so excited. Anyways, so that is huge. That is huge. I'm so excited. I'm really excited about my April retreat, but I cannot tell you how excited I am to be going and that I got in. I was number 1 on the wait list to get into this retreat. And I am just over the moon, over the moon. So if you don't know who a Pacific Northwest Stitcher is, hello. Michelle Bendy, hello. Michelle Bendy lives out there. Lisa Smith, who has a podcast, Kindred Stitcher. Oh my God, there are so many of them, you guys. Like, it's crazy. They are probably like 25% of the Flosstubers out there. Of all the Flosstubers around the world, 25% of them, I think, come from the Pacific Northwest. They are amazing. And they are so prolific. They stitch like crazy. Anyways, I enjoy them so much, and I can't wait to meet them all in person. So if you happen to be a Pacific Northwest Stitcher and you're watching this right now, please say hi. I can't wait to meet you all. So enough of that. Enough. I'm done with that. Okay, so whips. Hot mess situation, people with the whips. Okay, Peacock Cypher, Just Nan. Remember this? Well, I think my goal was to finish section 1 at the end of January. And I did. Well, there's some 1/1 here. The letters are 1/1, which I didn't realize in the beginning. Anyways, needless to say, that's the first time I think I've looked at that in February. Now, my Mirabilia, you all know, at the Met, I call her Mary Crawley. I didn't touch her either in February, but I didn't meet my goal of doing 4 hours a week on her in January. So I did get 16 hours in, and you can notice a big difference there. Yeah, I've almost have all the black taken out now. I was using DMC in the beginning, 310, the famous 310, and then I switched out to a sulky 12 weight, and I felt the coverage was better. So there's very little of that DMC left in there. So that was my birthday start last year. And I've had a bit of a roller coaster relationship, love-hate relationship with the piece. But once I got that tassel in, it was like, boom! Very exciting again. Now, Yule Queen. This by the Primitive Hare. This was a chart that I got. I won as a giveaway, passed along from JennyMcStitcher, who's a Canadian cross stitcher in Ontario. And this is where I am. Now, I did work on this in February, because at the beginning of February, I had this goal every day. I was going to work on a different piece, and I was going to switch them out. And this was one of them that I was going to focus on, because this was my winter sal, my winter solstice sal that I started December 21st. And really, it's something that should be finished by the spring solstice. But I think I only worked on it 4 hours because stuff happened in February and I didn't get back to all my stitching. But that skirt is quite something. And this is an opalescent Zweigart. So I'm really happy with that, though it probably should almost be done by now if I kept to my schedule. Now, Birds of a Feather. This is another one I was spending quite a bit of time on at one point, because at the start of February, I'm like, this has the potential to get done by the end of the month. I think we all know this. This is an out-of-print chart. I first found out about this chart by Olivia, Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, Pacific Northwest Stitcher. She was doing a sell along with Deborah at Canopied Stitches, and I found this chart in Japan, people. I hunted high and low, let me tell you. Oh, Wellington's coming to say hi. Now, where are we at? See, there's not much left to do. It's getting there. Anyways, I've been running out of fancy floss, so I've just been subbing with DMC equivalents, and I'm going to be putting in the initials of my immediate female relations. So like my mother, my grandmothers, and my great-grandmothers. Because it's from them whom all my stitching flows. You like that? So yeah, so that's very, very cool. And now Mary Clayton. Oh my God, Mary Clayton. Hello. Hello, Mary Clayton. This is another one that I started off with a bang. I did 4 hours one day, and then I did like another almost 4 hours, and I was just focusing on the house. And I got all the border done. I'm just going to do this. And I got that door done. And I stitched with the fancy floss. Instead of stitching horizontally, I went vertically. So I got these nice stripes in the door, which I thought was really cool. It made it look like an old wooden door, but a house like that probably had a much more substantial door. But I liked it. And I started stitching Aussie Friends. I didn't get it finished. This was the freebie put out by Sassy Jacks with the lovely squirrel and koala bear. This was fundraising for the Australia bushfire cause, helping to raise funds for those people. And I was really enjoying it and having fun. And then I wasn't able to finish it for the end of the month. I think today was the last day to show a picture of your finished piece. And then they're going to be sending a donation. So that's very cool. I did purchase the Hands Across the Sea, the sampler that they released as a fundraiser for the fire brigades in Australia. You know, it's the cute little one. It's like a band sampler. I can't tell you what it's called right now. But you know what I mean. I'll probably put a picture. Okay, and so my other big exciting start. Where's the chart? Oh, it's right here. Wellington is laying right between me and a pile of like haul. He's so sweet. This one, gratitude. Heart full of gratitude. Now, I did talk about this in January. I bought this in January. This is my Lenten stitching piece. And for those of you who aren't Christian, Lent precedes Easter. It's from Ash Wednesday to Easter in the Christian calendar. A lot of people give up things for Lent, you know, chocolate, whatever. Or some people do something more meditative during Lent. And I decided that this was going to be my focus piece for Lent. And I'm going to try and stitch on this every day because there's a good like 40 some days in Lent. And I like the word gratitude because I think this year is about gratitude for me. That's my word of the year, gratitude. So this is where I am. I had to get to that house. Let me tell you. I had to get to this house. Now, it called for a lot of fancy floss, the week's fancy flosses. And, you know, when I did a floss toss at the store, and then when I was looking at the pattern, for me, in my humble opinion, there weren't a lot of areas where the fancy floss was really going to shine. You know, you're not going to see that variegation. So I'm using a lot of DMC for this piece. I'm quite happy with it, though I found the colors that I first pulled based on the recommendations. They weren't popping, and I ended up getting a more of a dusty rose look. So for me, that was flat, and plus the weeks weren't popping. Like I couldn't see the variegation. And when I use fancy floss, I want to be able to see that, right? So I switched out. I went like a little brighter, and I'm much happier with it because I feel it looks more like the photo. Because that's what attracted me to the pattern in the first place. Not just the word gratitude, but the brightness of the colors. And I feel like I've got that now. So that makes me happy. Bam! Whips are over. How are we doing for time? Cool. So next, you know, I've been having a lot of problems with Canada Post. I think it's more the postal carrier that I have my bees with. I got my silks from Silks for You. She has these seconds which, you know, something happened in the dyeing process, and so they didn't turn out the way she had wanted. So I got this beautiful bag from Silks for You. They're lovely. Some of them are very pretty. These blue ones are really pretty. Anyway, so something happened in the dyeing process, and they're still perfectly lovely. And so I'm using them. And a little chocolate bar needle minder came with them. But I think, yeah, because I've been having all these problems with Canada Post, I've been having everything sent to my mother. And it took maybe 2.5 weeks to come from Australia, which I think is pretty good because it has to come on a plane, right? So what else? Oh, hand dyed by Rolanda. I don't know if I showed you these last time, but these were something else that kind of got lost. And this was her variegated threads pack. They're just cotton. I don't know if you're getting the true. But hand dyed by Rolanda. She's on Etsy. She's in Ontario. She's Canadian, and she was very good about the first pack she sent me. I never got, so she sent them again, and they showed up in no time. So, but I sent it to my mother. When I send things to my mother, it works. It works. Canada Post just likes my mother. What can I tell you? And I know that other things have showed up, but I haven't been to my mother's lately. But there was fabric that I ordered from 123 Stitch that kept doing a dance across the border. Finally, it landed. And then threads and twine. Trish, poor Trish, thinks I'm like crazy because it went back and forth across the border. Same thing happened. Something from Stash Unload. I got it now. And poor Melinda at Mary Wynn Farms. I think she thinks I'm a total crackpot because she has sent me something now, and it's gone back and forth across the border, not once but twice. It's because there's a building next door to me, and the only difference in the address is a letter. They're an A and I'm a B. And I'm pretty sure all my mail has been going to the A. And instead of them thinking like, oh, maybe it's the lady in the building next door, they've just been telling Canada Post, hey. And then the postal carrier obviously is somebody who, I'm assuming, I'm guessing, I'm making an educated assumption here, but somebody fairly new to the area and doesn't realize that, yes, there is a Julia and she lives in the B building. Because really, my mail, like, and like, just like, even like the mail you don't want to get, I'm not even getting that mail. So, you know, like the bills, that kind of stuff. I'm not getting anything right now. So, Canada Post is doing a search, trying to figure out what's going on. Anyway, so, you know. So, there's a little quilt shop not too far from me here. And I went in there one day just to have a little look-see. So this is part of haul still. This is, it's called the Quiltery. And I got this cute little fat quarter. I liked it because it is patriotic, but not obnoxiously patriotic. You know, I like that. That I'm thinking would be a nice backing. I got this gingham. Oh my God, say that twice. And this like ticking or whatever. I think that would go nice on the back of some like pin cushions or something. You know, when I get into the whole red work thing. And then I bought this beautiful fern fabric to make a project bag. It's Timeless Treasures, if that means anything to you. Fern fabric to make a project bag because I'm supposed to be doing End of Forest Screw by Rosewood Manor at some point. So I thought that would make for an excellent project bag. Then I went to my friend's shop, Mrs. Pugsleys Emporium in busy Amherst, Nova Scotia. And I picked up a meter. It's Tula Pink. Who doesn't like Tula Pink? It's Eden from the Eden collection. And can you see the moth? There's a moth there. So that's going to be a project bag. And then because I believe Hello Kitty is a rock star, I'm not, because I can't do anything. I'm upside down. Can you see? It's a panel. So I'm just going to make a throw quilt or something with it. And Hello Kitty is a rock star. And if you don't like Hello Kitty, I don't want to hear about it. Because that's just blasphemous. And what else? Well, I'm almost done here. But remember I got this from my friend for Christmas, the Kona cotton calendar. This was January. This was February. And I'll show you March next time. Thanks for watching the Stitchergurl Podcast. Subscribe, like. See you next time. Hi folks, it's me. It's Julia. I'm at work, so we have to do this quietly. I'm back with the winners and for the giveaways for the pass-alongs, and I'm so happy to announce that Sharon Bruce won the lovely Jeanette Douglas chart. So yay, Sharon. Sharon lives in Northern Ireland, and she's always so wonderful at commenting on my podcast and my Instagram feed. So thumbs up to you, Sharon. Yeehaw. And the winner of the lovely Celtic Raven yarn, that beautiful green color, that goes to Jill Slind, who lives in British Columbia. So congratulations to you. So how exciting to be sending things around the world. So yay, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like, click subscribe, the bell, the whole jiggy. And I hope you enjoy the podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Stitchergurl Podcast. Take care. Bye.